What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is going to be Growing Up Hip Hop Season 5, Episode 7. So, yeah, this episode didn't give me a whole lot. Yeah, I'm not going to quit. But they're going to have to give me something more. We start this episode off. We have JoJo, his fiance, and they're at a showroom. Now, at first I was trying to figure out why were they at the showroom because, okay, JoJo, they're getting ready for their wedding. And they were talking about a registry. And in my mind, I'm like, why are you registering in LA when you're going to be living in New York, New Jersey? Then I was like, well, maybe it's the type of store that, you know, they have more than one location and you can register there, like a Crate and Barrel kind of thing, where you can register at any Crate and Barrel and then everybody, you know what I'm saying. But I was like, all right, you think it too deep, just let it go. Just let the story go. Just let the scene flow. So they were talking about the wedding and they were talking about the registry and all that kind of stuff. So then they got to talking about food at the wedding. JoJo wants mac and cheese. She was like, yeah, no, that's not what we're doing. He was like, what? He said, oh, no, I'm going to have mac and cheese at my wedding. And she was like, no, we're not. And he was like, look, this is my wedding just like it's your wedding. If I don't see what the problem is if I want mac and cheese, why I can't have mac and cheese? So I was like, okay, here we go. Then they got to this. They were talking about their daughter. She was like, see, if Mia was here, she'd be running all around. And he was like, yeah, that's why she's not here. Like, that's why she's with the babysitter. And she was like, see, I mean, imagine, like, it was easy, you know. Imagine if we had 2 kids. I mean, what would we do with 2 kids? And he was like, they would both be at the babysitter. And she said, well, it's a lot easier to find a babysitter for 2 kids than it is. I mean, for 1 kid than it is for 2. JoJo was like, look, I don't really want to hear all that. Like, I want a son. Like, I don't understand the issue. Like, I want, you know, Joseph Simmons III. So then she was like, well, we already know she don't want no kids, any more kids. Then she was like, well, Joseph Simmons III, she said, I don't know how I really feel about, you know, juniors and stuff like that. Like, I think kids should have their own identity. And JoJo was like, yo, no. Number one, you know I want another child. You know I want a son. And he's going to be the 3rd. Like, it is my job. She was like, why is this so important to you? He said, because I'm the only one that can pass on this name. And that's important to me. Like my you know, my other brothers and sisters can have boys, but I'm the only one that can pass on the name. And he was like, and I'm going to name my son. Like, you got to name Mia. I ain't say nothing about the name you came up with for Mia, and I'm going to name my son. And, you know, my parents did that. Like, my dad was in charge of naming the girls. My mother was in charge of naming the boys. Now, my mama got the short end of the stick because she only had 1 boy, and he was a junior. So she was kind of like, yeah. And my father didn't want a junior for that exact reason. He didn't want him to be a junior and to not be able to have his own identity and stuff like that. So her concerns are valid, but at the end of the day, these are definitely things that need to be resolved before y'all get married, because that's not going to go away. If he is this adamant about having children and you're that adamant about not having children, we'll get to that. Okay, we'll get to that. So then Angela shows up and, you know, she's, you know, helping them with the registry and stuff like that. And they kind of got to having that conversation with Angela. And of course, Angela put her 2 cents in, but she was kind of, you know, she was supportive of the, you know, having a boy thing and all of that. But it kind of got real light after Angela got there, you know. Poor JoJo didn't know they were doing a registry. He was like, oh, so that means people gonna buy this stuff for us? So he had a whole different attitude once he found out he could start basically make a wish list. Oh, because before that he was just like, why are we here? I'm just bored. But he got excited when he realized, oh, wait a minute. I get to tell people I want these things. Oh, shoot. So, I talked a little bit about the wedding planning and everything. And, you know, Angela was like, you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself. Like, get a wedding planner. Which, yeah, get a wedding planner. But anyway. So, then we see Sam. Sam is going to go see Tretch to ask for Tretch's permission to propose to Egypt. It was a real dramatic scene. You know, you have Tretch doing his best gangster, you know, you better not do my daughter wrong. He gonna ask, first thing out his mouth gonna be, you believe in God? You know, you better not, that's my princess. You better not do her wrong. You know, you married into the family, and you married into the family, you married into the mafia. And you better put your wife first. You better not hurt my daughter. I don't know, Sam. I don't know, Sam. You hurt my daughter, Sam. It was real extra over the top. Now, let me be clear. I wouldn't want to have Sam's job in asking Tretch. I wouldn't want to run the risk of disappointing Tretch. I wouldn't want to run the risk of Princess picking up the phone, calling Daddy, saying, Sam, ... Let me be clear about that. But I'm just saying, it was a whole lot with this scene, you know. And, of course, Sam was nervous as hell, which he should have been. Okay? And all I'm going to say is, Sam, you might just want to go on the witness protection if you ever. I mean, outside of regular relationship stuff. Like, sometimes relationships just don't work. Sometimes we get into arguments. But anything outside of that norm, yeah, Sam. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So yeah, they did that whole little extra scene, and then you saw Pep and Tretch together. They made a big deal about them being by themselves, alone on the tour bus together, honey. You know, do we need extra security and all of that? But you know, I guess they have moved on. I guess they're in a better place than, you know, where they were. You know, as far as, you know, if you've read her book or you've heard her speak on it, that their relationship was very toxic and stuff like that, their marriage. But they both agree that, look, she's an adult. If this is what she wants, if she loves him and he loves her, then we're going to have to just trust her on this one and give our, you know, and sort of give our blessing. And basically, TT and anybody else that has a problem with it, they just going to have to step to the side and let these two do whatever it is that they're going to do, whether it's going to work out or not. And I agree. Like, you can dislike this man all you want, but at the end of the day, she's an adult. I mean, legally, she's an adult. And if Pep want to pay their bills and enable that man to not take care of his daughter, that's their business. If you like it, I love it. Did we see the scene with Angela and Reverend Run? Look, where's Justine? Now, it took us 5 seasons to get Reverend Run. Can I get some Justine in my life? I love Justine and Run, and how, you know, Joey. I love them together. Anyway, I love her. So, but they were basically talking about Angela not being able to find somebody to date, and you know how she did the dating app and that didn't work out, and how hard it is for her to meet guys, blah 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 blah. You know, and he was like, I don't understand. You know, back in my day, a woman as beautiful as you would never have to worry about a man, and blah 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 blah. But it was a cute little father-daughter moment. Okay, cute. Then we had TT and Brianna meeting up. Because, you know, of course, the enemy, you know, they have a common enemy at this point, which is Sam. And they both are trying to stop Sam from getting engaged to Egypt. And so they cook up this plan on how they're going to stop the engagement from going down, honey. And then they talk about the whole Troy situation again. And TT was, and, you know, Brianna was like, look, my bad. I ain't know it was like that between you and Troy. Like, I really didn't. Like, I knew that, you know, he ain't work for Pep anymore, but I didn't realize it was that bad. She was like, you know, TT was like, yeah, no, it's that bad. And she was like, my bad, you know, didn't try to set you up. I really didn't know. Okay. Cool. Then we see JoJo went to marriage counseling. Him and the fiance went to marriage counseling with Run. And she was like, you know, I feel a little nervous because it's a little off-putting to go to marriage counseling with your future father-in-law. And I can 100% understand that because, you know, you want to be honest. You want to be, you know, in counseling, you want to be open. You want to be honest. You want to share, you know, in a place where you feel like it's an even playing field. So I definitely 100% understand. Tanise is her name. I 100% understand Tanise's apprehension on sharing. So one of the things that came up in the counseling was her having an issue with the hours that he keeps. And he was like, look, I'm a producer. I'm in the studio. I got to make moves. You know, when opportunities come up, A lot of my business is done at the club. A lot of my business is done at the studio. Artists record all hours of the night. Like, I don't do a 9 to 5. Now, Ron, understanding the industry and understanding that what he's saying is pretty valid, he was saying, well, JoJo, let's be honest. Is everything you're doing work related, or is some of it little fun and games? And JoJo, to his credit, JoJo was like, my job is fun. Like, that's what I do. Like, I club, I party. Like, that's part of my job. And so he was saying, so he kind of said to me, like, look, y'all are going to have to work on y'all trust. JoJo, you have to make sure you don't give her anything to distrust you. And Mia, you're going to have to trust that this is a part of his job. Like, you've kind of signed up for that. And so Gia, I said Mia, not Mia. Mia is the baby's name. Janice. See how quickly I forget people's names? Janice was saying, she was in her confessional and she was like, JoJo's hours have caused me to have to quit my job and become a full-time mother, which is something I never wanted to do. I liked working. I liked, I don't. So anyway, yeah, because I was going to say, I don't know how that, but I guess I can see how it, anyway. And I think that's part of why she doesn't want to have another child, because I think essentially she probably feels like she's a single parent. And her thing is, if I am basically working full-time, I'm basically a single parent of one, I certainly don't want to be a single parent of two, So I could definitely see that. So then they talked about the kid situation. And JoJo said that that's basically a deal breaker for him. And even his father was like, really? Like, her not having another child is a deal breaker? Like, y'all couldn't possibly not get married? Now, they've been dating for damn near 10 years. So my thing is, at this point, I'm like, really? But he said, yeah. He said, I really want a child. And so, Ron talked to them about, basically he was talking to me about compromising. And her thing was, I don't understand why anybody doesn't understand what I'm saying. Like, I don't want another child. And no one's listening to me. Like, no one is hearing me. Everybody thinks it's optional, and it's not. Like, I don't want another child. So I kind of feel bad for her, because she's right. Like, I think everyone thinks that when she's saying it that she's saying, maybe I'm on the fence, not sure. But she's like, no, I don't want another child. So then we see Sam and Pep. He's showing her the ring. She's excited. Whatever. You know how they do these anyway. It's whatever. All right. We see Sam getting his hair done, getting ready for his show. Him and Egypt are talking about, how big this is, and this is a big deal for us. Because Egypt is actually in the show with him. She's actually, going to be a part of the show with him, and, just talking about how big of a deal this is for them, and this, that, and the other. Then next thing we see her leaving to go with TT, because they're going to go get their hair and makeup done, and, the last thing he says to her is, don't be late, and I'm like, So then we see Sam done got his makeup together, honey. Sam done got this whole story talking about he always does his makeup as the Joker, so he had on the white face with the Joker and the red lip and all of that, and the green hair and stuff. And he was saying how, he always performs as the Joker. He said that Egypt is his Harley Quinn, and that they're like hip-hop's rebel couple. He said he really was very much that that wild child outcast type person when they met, and she's just been so good for him and grounded him and helped him become a better man, blah, blah, blah. Then we see TT and Egypt in the car. TT then came up with this little thing with a driver, then gave him the wrong address. Now, mind you, Egypt was thinking, oh, TT's finally come around because she's, being really nice, and she's being really supportive, and I guess she's really, let all that stuff with Sam go, and she's really here for us. And then Egypt figures out, oh, you got jokes. Because she was like, the driver, he's not going the right way. Like, I know where the venue is. I know what it looks like. Like, this isn't it. Honey, they way on the other side of town. Then they got to get back. Sam is calling her. Sam is pissed off. She's pissed off. And now TT is like, maybe I went too far. And I'm like, First of all, you might have, let's assume for a moment you were successful in stopping her from getting to the show, or getting to the show too late for him to propose. It just would have changed the date. Like, I don't think it wouldn't have stopped him from proposing. Like, it was a dumb idea to begin with, which TT figured out about halfway through that this probably wasn't the most well thought out situation. But look, so Twist, Brianna show up. That daggone Twist is hilarious, honey. Twist gonna say, look, you stay close to me, because I don't want nothing. You stay close to me. Brianna was like, oh, you know I want to stay close to you, because you know I already ain't feeling this whole situation. He walking past people talking about something. I'm feeling that checkers. Yeah, I'm feeling that checkers. Okay, at the starting lot. Like, I love Twist. Twist is hilarious to me. Like, Twist is what this show needs. He clearly takes none of this shit too seriously. He don't take himself too seriously. He care about his music. I think he's trying to use this as an avenue to make a little bit of coin. And when he's ready to, push his new album out, it'll give him a launch pad. Because he don't care about none of this. And he has no storyline. None. But he's hilarious. Anyway, so that's pretty much where this episode ended with, Egypt trying to get back to the venue. She's running late. Sam pissed off, blaming TT. Egypt figured out that TT did it. And TT sitting there looking real stupid. That's what we got, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.